it's just something about your page that's engaging, that makes you want to learn more about it and read up on it and watch more of your videos. So I'm glad I have you here today. It's a
Thank
privilege.
Thank you. No, it's an honor. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So what are you up to today? Just hanging out?
Yeah, it's an off day today, man. I've been working ever since I came home, bro. Kind of like owner of a pizzeria right now here in Michigan.
Right. Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, ever since I came home, it's just been work. So I'm glad I got a little bit of time for myself right now. That's like majority of my content is at work, man. So
Right.
yeah, it's like two jobs now with work and this. So
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So you guys aren't because I know here out in California a lot of the people are getting laid off and COVID's kind of harder here than other states. How is it over there in Michigan? Are you in Michigan, right?
Yeah, it is. People are kind of dealing with the same thing. It's not. It's kind of like both ways. It's people are getting laid off and people are not working due to COVID for safety reasons. You know what I'm saying? So, but the food industry is still kind of open. We don't have dine-ins, but other than that, we still do the pickup delivery type of thing. But it's impossible to keep drivers and cooks. So you're doing everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that.
Right. So, Ray, for the people that don't know you, do you want to give a little bit of background about who you are, what you're about, and also we'll get into your TikTok as well afterwards.
Okay, cool. Cool.
But yeah, whatever you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So, I'm 26 years old. I was federally indicted 2016 at 21. The feds picked up my gun case that I had in the States. The state gave me probation. The feds ended up giving me the time. However, due to the circumstances of my case, the reason why I made Fed was because it was a high profile case. There were, allegations of me supporting terrorism. Okay. However, it was never proven or indicted, but the feds picked up the case anyway. My guidelines were 19 to 20 months. They gave me 60 months. So they gave me 39 months over my guidelines due to uncharged conduct,
Wow.
Before I was sentenced, they sent me to go get an evaluation. They thought I was like a crazy person or something. So they sent me to Oklahoma. They sent me to Brooklyn. They sent me to Massachusetts for the evaluation and then back to Michigan to finish my case,
Wow.
Hold on. Just 1 second. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You're good.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Got that DoorDash, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm not going anywhere today, man. Thank you. Yeah, they were supposed to come earlier. But anyway, but so after they sentenced me 60 months, they sent me to Terre Haute, Indiana. That is a FCI medium, facility. There I served my incarceration. And so basically that's pretty much it. I went to halfway house afterwards, and now I'm back on the streets. I've been out of custody since June of last year.
Nice.
Yeah. That's really kind of the background history of the case itself. Even though I was never charged with any terrorism, they still kind of treated me as I was, as far as the staff, goes. So they kept a special eye on me, things like that, But no, I'm glad to be making it out of there because there's a lot of guys, unfortunately, in the feds. The feds are going after cases like those. And I met a lot of guys that had 15, 20, 30 years for like circumstances like mine, So I definitely caught a blessing. But yeah, there it goes right there. I met a lot of people in the feds. You meet a lot of people from all different backgrounds, different states, different cultures. So it was a good way for me to grow and experience things,
Right. Now, Ray, what's the difference between federal institutions and state institutions?
Okay. So in the state, anytime you get in trouble in the state, it's just your state. So it'd be the state of whatever versus you. In the feds, you're getting in trouble with the governments. So there's two different jurisdictions and two different prisons. In the feds, there is like 110 federal prisons across the United States and all different levels. So you got camps, you got lows, you got mediums, you got penitentiaries as well, And thing is with the feds, more often than not, you're getting shipped. So you're going on Con Air and you're going to your prison at a different state, So it's two different jurisdictions,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now, what was your first day like being 21 years old,
Yeah.
going to a federal institution? I mean, you have these grown men, that are, facing life for,
Yeah,
murder charges and,
yeah.
the homicides and all that. How did you adapt, and what did you have to do in order to, make time and,
Yeah.
survive?
Right, right. Thanks. So it's definitely a different experience. I'm not gonna lie, man. Anybody that tells you they go to prison for the first time and they're not scared is capping, bro. You know, you do have that sense of fear behind it because it's the fear of the unknown. What are you gonna expect? You know. However, when I was in county jails and holdovers, I talked to a lot of guys that done prison time already, and they kind of put me on game of what to expect. So my first day I went to prison, I found my people, which I ran with my Muslim brothers. So I found my Muslim brothers. I got to know them. We talked, and in the feds, it's more of like cars. So if you're riding with your state, your religion, your gang, so you just go match up with these guys.
Right.
Um, so I mean, don't get me wrong, you were a little nervous, but it's all about adapting, man. You get into a routine and just program and stay out the way. So that's really what I kind of just did my time, just centered around spending time with my Muslim brothers, reading, studying, working out, and just kind of staying out the way as much as possible.
Right. Now, did you run with, because a lot of the Muslims, they're, I know of someone that's incarcerated right now, and he's Muslim.
Yeah.
Um, and are they like a specific group? Like, you have your Crips, your Bloods, your Aryan Brotherhood, you have your, the Woods, you have Norteños, Sureños. Now would the Muslims classify as their own, like their own little category, or would they run,
Yeah.
how would that roll?
Yeah, so the Muslim is considered a car, just like the other people that you mentioned. So you got your own table, you hang out your particular spots. It's structured as well. So in the Muslims, we have our imam, you have your security team or whatever reps. So basically, it's run by like the federal politics of cars, but we try to incorporate the religion as much as possible. If like an issue transpired or how we conduct ourselves. So a lot of people classify it's like a Muslim gang. It's not a gang. It's more just like a car. It's a community. That's what it
Right.
really is. And what thing is about with the Muslim religion, you don't have to be white, black, Mexican. It doesn't matter. If that's your religion, then you're my brother.
Right.
So that's really what it was. Really more brotherhood.
Right. Now, like when you're talking about when stuff would pop off, was there like a high number of you guys? Like,
So
how
when
would you?
there was about 80 of us.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, a few people transferred, a few people went home, a few people went to the SHU, like they went to SEG, they went to a different institution. So when I got there, we were at least 80 strong. Yeah, so it was definitely a good community. It really was. And the thing is, with the imam over there, he was our spiritual leader. At the time, before he caught his case, while he was on the street, he was a member of an organization. So he kind of had like good rapport with other organizations and other cars as well. You know, so it was definitely a strong community where I was at. Definitely
Oh,
community.
yes. What was your everyday life as a because I honestly I find now this is really engaging because I've never came across anyone that was Muslim inside the prison institute, like inside the prison, and I never came across anyone like even on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And I find it pretty interesting. That's why I'm asking you so much about it.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
What was your everyday life as a Muslim? You guys had to pray.
Yeah. So what would be is we try to center around our to increase knowledge. Like man, before like I grew up in a Muslim household. I'm Arab, but bro, I couldn't even tell you like the 5 pillars, like the basic fundamentals before I got locked up. You know, but I really took that time to study my faith, to be around other brothers. So we would attend classes. Like we'll be on the yard, 5 of us or whatever, having class, reading and practicing. We would have prayers. We would try to introduce other people to the religion itself and teach them. There was actually quite a lot of people who actually accepted Islam in prison. You know,
Uh,
it's definitely great. It's a really fast growing religion as far as in the prison system goes. But basically centered around really as much as knowledge as much as possible. And we'd work out together, walk together, eat together. As much as possible.
right. Now, what was your guys' workout routine? Because
So
everyone's is different, right?
yeah, I was blessed. The institution I was at. We actually had weights there, which was one of the
Okay.
last few institutions with weights. So, kind of wake up in the morning, before lunchtime, we would go out in the yard for like an hour or two, meet workout partners, whatever. We just kind of work out like right here, like, benching, curling, things like that, man, uh,
Right.
cardio, but a lot of places don't have weights. So all they're doing around is a lot of calisthenics,
Right.
So I just really kind of centered myself with the weights as much as possible.
Now, was that mandatory?
No, not for the Muslim group, not for us. You do have organizations and things like that you have to do it. Like you better be up having your shoes on. Us, wasn't really kind of run like that, When we ran our day-to-day affairs, we try to run it according to the religion itself, So whatever the Quran teaches us, whatever the teachings of the Prophet taught us, this is how we kind of conducted ourselves day to day, as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the foods, you guys are very specific on what you eat, and me myself, I don't eat pork as well.
Okay.
So did they have to accommodate anything for you guys?
So
How
yeah,
was that?
Feds, they have something called common fare, which is really it's like a Jewish diet. According to the Islamic faith, we are allowed to eat from their meat. So the Feds would give us these special trays, basically like common fare. It would basically be Jewish meats, kosher.
Got
So
you.
that's what we kind of centered around ourselves with that as well. Away from the mainline food, the actual child food.
Right. Now I came across someone's TikTok. The prison food there, is it is it like bottom of the barrel? Like is it good food? Like did you
So
enjoy the food?
you're absolutely, it's actually a good question. It's all really depending on the location. It's not good, but they try their best to get you enough carbs, nutrients, and all that, just so you can go through it. But if you're just surviving on those 3 meals, you will literally starve. You have to have money on your books, man, to go to commissary, because that food will not be enough for you.
Right.
So it's just the fact of portions. And like you said, the taste as well,
Right. Um Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, you go to prison. Oh, you get bullied. If you're younger and stuff, you get bullied and stuff." I don't. Me personally, because I interviewed someone that went to Rikers over there on the East Coast, and I mean, his sentences it was perfectly fine. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
is that really like the stereotype of, oh, I came to prison. Oh, you're someone's, whatever.
right.
You know.
That is such like a stereotype, man. I get a lot of questions. People ask me all the time, like, do I have to fight my first day there? Or, will I get picked on? At the end of the day, man, it's really on how you conduct yourself. You can be young, you can be old. If you conduct yourself in a respectful, cordial manner, you'll be left alone for the most part, man. Just don't run your mouth and just really do your time. It's not like that. Like, as soon as I walk into the gates, I got to fight. I got to kick something off. It's not like that, man. Not like that at all. At the end of the day, it's just how you stand on your man. Like, even though I was 21, people were surprised that I was 21. People thought I was like 41, the way I was like conducting myself, So it's just all on your demeanor, the way you stand your ground, So yeah, it's like a stereotype, man. It's a stereotype.
Right. That's what I thought
Yeah.
too. It was just not out of the ordinary. Hey, Rays, do people? I don't know about in Michigan, but um, is there like a lot of rehabilitation programs, and do people take advantage of that?
So in the Feds, at least where I was at, we did have a few drug programs, anger management programs, life skills, parenting. However, I will say this over and over again, and I've clearly said this: prisons itself is not doing enough to program for these inmates. All where they're doing, really, for the most part, is just focusing on the warehousing.
Right.
So that's why you have a lot of inmates when they come home, they have PTSD, they still
Mhm.
have problems, because we're not doing enough when it comes to actually focusing on the rehabilitation process. It's just to punish you. So if you put a group of inmates in one area, okay, evidently there's still going to be more problems than answers. That's why how problems get started, man.
Absolutely right.
Even when I came home, bro, like the way I interact with people, it took me some time to adapt to that, man.
Right.
So I really feel like when it comes to mental health and drug programming, they're not doing enough for it, man. They're really not,
Right.
unfortunately.
No, you're absolutely right, Ray. I think I feel the same way because I'm a criminology major
Okay.
over at my school, so I study all that. I take a bunch of classes. Um, I feel like ever since they shut down, I know here in California they shut down mostly all the mental hospitals, and ever since that, you see these people down the street, and you can tell there's something wrong with them, and they're not getting that medical care that they need, and drugs, and people take advantage and whatever, and then they go inside the prison system, and then it's a tumbleweed. It just keeps going. And another thing is, I feel like even the juvenile level, um, these judges in the court system are just too harsh on these kids. Um, because the majority of them, I would say personally, they don't have a father figure at home. They don't have a family. They don't have friends, and they don't have that guidance. Um, you know, to get to where they want to be. Um, they have to fend. They have to like do it by themselves. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate. And I feel like that's just absent to the court system's brains. They just don't care. You know what I mean?
So
Um,
that's actually a good point. A lot of these guys, man, they're already in an environment that's set up for failure, man. So when it comes to maybe committing crimes, I mean, I hate to say a lot of them are like stuck with no choice, man. So it's really it's a lot of things that's centered around the actual inmate itself, from their upbringing, the prison itself, and even when they come home. So not only did they not benefit from prison, for example, as far as programming, when they come home, they'll have a felony background. So they're really kind of like in a messed up position, man. So the whole system itself kind of needs to change, man. But this is kind of tackling before somebody's incarcerated. If it's outreach programs, counseling, helping, there needs, like you said, there's no figure, an
right.
inspiration for people to actually kind of do the right thing, man. So it's just so many things we can kind of put this on, man. Rather than just, I get a lot of Karens on my TikTok, whatever, they say, well, you committed the crime. You should not have committed the crime. Well, I mean, we get that. We don't understand, but there's so many facets you have to look for, man.
Right.
So yeah, you made up a good point. That was a good point.
The thing is that they don't understand, the whole situation, and they're blind to see, they're not going to look at the situation, look deeper into it of why these people are, committing these crimes. Um, Another thing is, Ray, why do you think people will reoffend?
Okay. So I actually looked up the statistic. The first 3 years somebody comes home is really the higher level. Okay. And man, it can really just be a lot of people, man. I'm telling you, like, some people go in there, bro, and that's really kind of like they're like institutionalized in a way, right?
Right.
That's the life they're kind of like getting comfortable to, man. So this outside world is way too fast and kind of way too hard. There's also, like we talked about, that there's no program, so some people might get back into drugs, or some people, unfortunately, when they go to prison, they become better criminals, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just so many facets somebody can commit, man. When I came home, I really felt it, bro. Like, things were moving way too fast, man. Even like, if I thought of myself, like, if I was sitting in a jail cell, it would be easier than what I'm doing right now. The first 3 years is the toughest. It really is, man. There's just so many ways you can put this on, unfortunately, man. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. But there's just so many things you can blame it on. There really, really is. How about, hey, instead of like when somebody comes home, they're on parole or probation, rather than just focusing on, hey, we got to drop you and check on you, how about, incorporate more programs for them, see if they can go get mental health counseling, these type of things they can actually go out, and rather than just putting them on paper all the time, So
Right.
there's really needs to be help post incarceration as well, man. And I really preach that a lot. I really do, man, because PTSD after prison is definitely a real thing, man. Nobody really wants to talk about it that much. So it's just so many things we can put this on. It really is. It really, really is.
Because I feel like a lot of people on the other side, they're like, do the crime, do the time, all harsh and stuff. When it's people are people.
Exactly.
Humans are humans.
Exactly.
Everyone deserves a second chance, whatever.
Absolutely.
But now, Ray, when you're finishing up your sentence, when you're all done, and you're on your way to coming home, how was that like? Like the last couple days?
So, man, this is probably like my last like 10 days was probably like the hardest. I didn't sleep. I could have stand still. I was excited just to get home. Thing is with me though, I was going to the halfway house, so I was not necessarily out. I had to check into the halfway house though. But yeah, the feeling of the last few days that's really what kind of sticks in your mind. The first day you get there and the last day you leave. I didn't sleep the night before. When they finally called my name, they had me in the holding tank, processing me out. I'm thinking this whole time it's a joke, that something's about to come up and they're about to keep me. However, fun fact though, the prison I was at had death row at Terre Haute, Indiana. So there was supposed to be a scheduled execution the day of I was supposed to leave. Okay, so they signed off where I was supposed to not get let away from the prison. A camper was supposed to drop me off at a closest Walmart so my family will meet me there. So it was such a really real surreal feeling when I actually got to get out, get in the car, and see my family. However, I had to go check in a halfway house, so it was like leaving from one jail to another in a sense. I was not necessarily completely free. But it was an exciting time, exciting moment, man. It really was. It really was.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
Ray, I'm gonna hit the halfway house as well, but I wanted to touch on the time. I know a lot of inmates. I don't know if this is true or not, but a lot of inmates don't like talking about their time because you have those that are incarcerated that have 4 life sentences, 3 life sentences, and that's like putting food in front of a starving, person. They're not. You know what I mean? How was that like?
Absolutely. So
Is
this
that
is
true?
a very good question. Yes. So when I was going home my last few months, I only told a few of my close brothers that I actually built a bond with. And you're right, man. Some people have life. Some people have 30, 20, 15 years. So they don't want to hear that, man. I know if I was in that position, I don't want to hear that. I have seen people get short and brag about it, where some people might want to try that person because they're getting short all of a sudden. Or, I've seen people like you said, get into situation problem. It's just not good to tell people, hey, I'm leaving, I'm fixing to leave. Some people disappeared the day of. They didn't just tell anybody. It's always a good idea to keep it to yourself, or if you want to tell some of the few of the genuine guys you built a bond with, that you're getting ready to leave. So like that is a very good. That's actually true. Some people just don't want to hear about that, man, and I don't blame them. I really don't blame them at all.
So how was it transitioning going from prison into a halfway house? Can you explain for the viewers that don't know what a halfway house is, etc.?
So in the halfway house, you're still technically in custody. It is basically a center, basically. So if you find yourself a job, you can go on work passes. You're still in the center. They have beds. They feed you there, all those type of things. So if you have they give you work passes. They give you a few social passes where you can go home a few days a week. You get social passes. You get hygiene passes. Everything is kind of by like a curfew. So you sign off at a particular time, go do what you got to do, and you got to come back. At least where I was at, they stuck you with a tether. So they know all your interactions and where your movement is at all times. You're assigned a counselor, case manager to keep an eye on you to make sure you're doing okay. I did 2 months in a halfway house, and then my last 4 months I did it in home confinement. But I'm gonna tell you, man, it was tough, bro, because in your mind, when I was in prison, that I'm getting out, I'm going home. But in actuality, like my first 2 weeks in a halfway house, they did not let me go anywhere. I was so close to tell. I was like, man, just send me back to prison, man. I'll just finish my time in prison. That way I can go home. So I've seen a lot of guys mess up in halfway houses. I've seen a few guys literally walk out the halfway house. So it is definitely like I said, you're still technically an inmate. They don't call you an inmate. They call you a resident, So their main agenda is for you to get back on your feet. Is it financially or for you to be stable so you can go home, which is it's a good sense in a way if you've done a long time. But I was blessed with a very good financial situation when I came home anyway, a good family, good support system, so I did not necessarily need it, but it is a good idea for people that's done long sentences. It is though.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd say it's pretty much beneficial?
It's beneficial for people who have done a long time, man, and for people who really don't have anything to go home to, so they help you find a job. Even, there's some instances where they help them find housing, after they finish their halfway house time. So it's beneficial for people who need it,
Right.
definitely.
Now, Trent, after you got done with when you're in the halfway house, did you have your job or no?
I worked at a mechanic shop. They would not
Okay.
let you have kind of your own. They want somebody to like supervise you, to have like your manager, you know.
Right.
So I worked at a mechanic shop for a few months. I mean, I learned a little bit, a few things, and after I was done, I went back to the pizza place, you know, kind of sort of, you know.
Nice. So it really wasn't that hard for you to get a job, huh?
No, it wasn't. Like I said, you know, I was very blessed from day one, man. Right when I got arrested to when I went home until today, blessed with a good family, good support system, great community, man. You know, so I was in a good position. I really was. So I'm
Yeah.
thankful.
Congrats, bro. Hey Ray, do you want to touch up on your TikTok? What your TikTok's about? What content you provide, and
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you are a famous TikToker now.
I'm still growing, man. You know, so what really funny story, I started TikTok. Um, I started TikTok as a way to get over a heartbreak. When I came home, I was supposed to marry this girl. It did not work out. She ended up leaving. That crushed me, bro. Coming home from prison, a bad situation, to this, it crushed me. So I used TikTok as a way to distract me from the heartbreak. Okay. Um, I posted a first video of me, like me coming home and not getting messed over by a girl. And that video just kind of blew up. However, I was still not comfortable to talk about prison itself. But I came a few big TikTokers one day, and they kind of inspired me to start talking about my journey, man. You know, so majority of my content is talking about prison, particularly from the federal side, answering questions, clearing stereotypes. I have another thing where I try to help out people who have loved ones in prison, whether you are a wife, a girlfriend, a father, brother, and also try to underline like prison reform as well as much as possible. You know, so that's really what my content had to center around, is basically prison related things. You know, it's been growing, and hopefully, hopefully it continues to grow. But it does get exhausting, man, because let me tell you something, bro. You deal with a lot of toxic comments, man.
Yeah, you do.
I've gotten a few death threats on there.
Really? No way.
Yeah, I've had my address posted on there a few times. I have a criminal record, so everything is
Right.
public, you know. Um,
Right.
so, and then you still deal with a lot of Karens as well, man. So it's it's TikTok is very toxic, man. If you don't have like a strong mental, it will definitely it definitely mess you up, man. It really will. Social media in general, particularly TikTok, since I've been on it, it's very toxic, man. Very, very much so. But like I said, I still continue to post daily, and we'll see where it goes on that. It really will.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, your platform, you're using it very well. I feel like, do you have a YouTube or no?
Right. I do have one. It's just there's no content. Unfortunately, the way my mental health is right now, I'm not ready for it.
Right. I
I
feel
want,
that.
yeah, I'm not ready for it. I'm not really. I wanted to maybe do a podcast down the line, but right now my mental health will only allow me 1 minute videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Step by step.
yeah,
That's all you
exactly.
got to do. Take it step by step. You know how it goes. Now that'd be kind of cool to have your own little podcast doing. You can just talk. You don't even have to talk about prison stuff. You can talk about stuff that's going on in today's society. Because on my, I interview people with different backgrounds, people that have been incarcerated, professional athletes.
Right.
Who else? I mean, you can check my list. There's a whole variety just to get a taste of everyone. You know what I mean? Um, People that have grown up with no parents and they have to fend for themselves and take care of their brother and sister. But it's interesting to hear about these people's stories. Um, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's just something that I like to do.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Right.
A lot of people, unfortunately, when they do to prison, I get a lot of backlash from ex-cons. They tell me, why are you talking about it? Move on. I mean, everybody has a story, man. You don't necessarily have to go to prison. Whatever your story is, if you can talk about it, you might be able to inspire people, man. You might be able to touch people. So even though with these toxic, I get a lot of messages from younger people that tell me, hey, man, what you're doing is helping me stay out. I got a lot of people that have loved ones in prison that say what you're doing is helping me know what he's dealing with, So
Right.
you are the whole point of a platform, man. If you're using it to benefit other people as well, man, try to help somebody else. If I could just make one person's day or one person's day easier, then that just makes it all the better, man. It really
Right.
does. It really does. So it's rewarding. It really is.
Absolutely. Now, have you thought about making like an organization for preventions of, you know, even drug use,
Yeah.
you know, the gangs and all that? Have you thought about, you know,
So
linking up with other ex inmate, whatever you want, you
I
know?
really would love that. And that was really kind of my intention. Ever since COVID happened, bro, it's just kind of just threw everything off. I wanted to go out to high schools and colleges, whatever, just speak and try to help and outreach. Um, I mean, if somebody would reach out to me and maybe we could start something, I'm really up for that. I really am. Ever since COVID and my schedule is right now, it's just kind of like it's just kind of tough right now. But I would love to do that though. Most definitely, I would love to do that. You know, we can link up with some guys or whatever. You know, I would love that. I really would.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, Ray, do you have any words for those that are at home that are dealing with, you know, mental issues, mental depression, all that, etc.?
So first and foremost, I really love talking about mental health. Unfortunately, for my culture, it's taboo to talk about it. However, man, I want you guys to know that it's okay to not be okay. There's always somebody that you can reach out to. You know, you are not alone. Depression, anxiety, those things are real. You know, those are valid feelings to have. There's always people and things to reach out to, like I said. Or if it's maybe picking up another hobby, finding a passion in your life, man, it's not going to be easy. Okay. I made the mistake of bottling all my emotions in. So part of the reason I feel like what landed me in the old lifestyle I have because I couldn't process out my emotions. But now with social media and other things like that is growing, you don't have to necessarily feel alone just by that. You know, if it's from your family, friends, whomever you can reach out to. If you are maybe in a gang or if you are maybe committing crimes, my high advice to you is to stop while you are ahead right now. Those aren't your boys because when it comes down to it, they're going to tell on you. It's not worth it to get caught up, man, because you're going to find yourself in a courtroom. You're going to find yourself doing time, sitting in a jail cell at night. It's not worth it, man. This freedom, it's a blessing, man, you know? And the old saying goes, you know, you don't know what you have until it's gone. I did not know what I had until, like I said, my freedom was gone, you know? So you got all these people that you can reach out to and see. You know, you got other ex-cons and other people like that. See what they went through so you don't have to go through. You know, this is free advice at the end of the day, man. You know, so the youth, man, is to definitely stay out of trouble. If you're hanging around the bad crowd, it's good for you just to be alone because those aren't your friends in a way. You know, find something else. You know, life is too beautiful to mess up, man. You know,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yep.
Wise words from Ray.
Man, listen, man, I love this. I really do. I really do, man. And
Hey, I'll
yeah,
go for it. You're
yeah.
good. Go for it.
In a way though, I hate to say it, going to prison, I mean, it was a blessing though, man. It really was. The way my mindset was before to what it is now, completely different person, man. So in a way, you know, in the old, you know, in the Muslim faith, we say things like, hey, you know, suppose you hate a thing that is good for you. So I hated the situation we went through, but in a way, it was good for me, man. You know, and I have another chance. I have another chance to do right, you know, and I'm trying to do
Absolutely.
that. So yeah,
Now,
definitely.
Ray, do you think if you didn't join up with the Muslim, you know, organization or, you know, religion organization, do you think your life would have been different?
Unfortunately, yes. A lot of guys who running state time, gang time, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're their own community, but it's not really centered around fixing your character, fixing your mannerisms. You know, a lot of issues get started, all these type of things. Our priority, our whole focus was to become better people, and that was the religion really teaches you at the end of the day, man. So I was very blessed to actually sit down, read, study, and be around with my brothers, man. So that itself was a blessing. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Well, hey, Ray, you're obviously successful. You're doing it right. Whatever you're doing, just keep pushing. Don't stop.
Thank you. Definitely.
You
Definitely.
know, and just stay level headed and keep,
Absolutely.
you know, pursuing or keep giving out that content that you're giving, because you're inspiring others. You know, not only locally, across the nation. You know,
Thank you.
but I'll let you. We're gonna do a part two for sure if you're up for that,
Yes.
because this was great. I want to hit different topics.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah.
I know your Detroit Lions aren't in the playoffs right now,
Uh,
but
yeah. I know. You know, they actually, you know, the Lions actually jumped on my TikTok live one day. They commented on a few of my
Wow.
videos because that's all I wear is Lions gear all the time. So, you know, a lot of people, they make fun of me. One person said, "Hey, what's worse, being in prison or being a Lions fan?" So I showed him. I said, "Well, did you ever have your favorite team comment on your video? You know, did you? Maybe you can talk to me after that. You know." So tough being a Lions fan, but I'm always going to be with my team, man. I'm always
Right.
going to.
How do you feel about Matthew Stafford?
I feel like it's over for him, man. It's just really time to move on. It really is. He was a great quarterback, man. Definitely a tough one, but I feel like it's just time for a new program. It's just time to step ahead. It's time to step up, man. Yes.
Right. Well, you heard him, Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford's gotta go.
Go, man. That's it, man. That's it.
That's hilarious. All right, Ray. Well, it's almost 8 o'clock over there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go. Like I said, it was truly an honor
Thank you.
getting in contact with you and you reaching out to me back as well
Thank
and
you.
getting you on this interview because it means the world to me. People like you help my content out as well, my channel, what I'm trying to provide. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
And we'll do a part 2, part 3, part 4, part
Well,
5, all those because I guarantee this video will go viral because it was just everything is just on point.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you again, and yeah, that's about it. Stay safe, Ray,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
keep level headed, keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Looking forward to hearing from you, man. Appreciate it, Sid.
Thanks, Ray.